The renowned professor of education at Stellenbosch University, Professor Jonathan Jansen, has been elected as one of the 92 scholars to the British Academy's prestigious fellowship in recognition of their contributions to the humanities and social sciences. Jansen, who was appointed in 2009 as the first Black Vice-Chancellor and Rector of the University of the Free State, will join a group of 30 international scholars selected from institutions across countries, including our own, the United States, China, and Australia. This year's fellows span a broad range of disciplines, from poverty and environmental law to music and cognitive neuroscience. In a statement, the British Academy says the editions reflect an ongoing commitment to academic excellence and interdisciplinary research across the globe. So let's speak then to Professor Jonathan Jansen, who joins me now. Good afternoon, Prof, and thank you for your time. I imagine this is a huge honor given who the British Academy are. Tell me how you are feeling about being part of the Fellows of the British Academy, as well as the kind of impact you believe you can make being part of the 92.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I feel humbled, grateful, very excited, because, it is an election which your peers from around the world think that you've got something to say. And so it's an enormous honor, obviously, at a personal level, but also for me, a very important statement about South African science and scholarship, and that we are being recognized among the best in the world.
And I suppose part of it has to do with who the British Academy are, right? And who gets to be selected to be a fellow. Say a bit more about that and the kind of impact that the British Academy makes in terms of the areas of research that are covered.
Right. So this is an academy for the social sciences and humanities. And so they look across the world for, scholars who are leading in their disciplines, who make breakthroughs in their scholarship, people who are highly regarded in a particular field, whether it's psychology or, neuroscience or whatever. And so, obviously, you're in good company, and it always feels good when those people who don't know you apart from your work think that you deserve to be part of that community. It is huge.
And in the commentary that followed, I saw you talking about your recognition and being elected there, hopefully advancing curriculum theory as well as scholarship from the Global South. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so, people often forget that in South Africa, on our continent, in the rest of the Global South, there are amazing scholars. People forget that in South Africa, in Botswana, we discovered the Omicron variant. We did the first heart transplant. We've done breakthroughs in so many areas. And so every time somebody, apart from myself, in Africa does breakthrough science and it gets recognized by your peers throughout the world, this is good for all of us.
And in terms of advancing the social sciences and humanities happening at the time at which we are seeing some funding pressures in terms of research with the pullout from by the United States, which really advanced research, particularly in the health sciences. Tell me about that and the kind of impact and perhaps plugging the gap that has been left by some of that funding withdrawal. What are you hoping you'll be able to achieve by way of plugging that gap, the research gap and the funding gap, particularly for the humanities and social sciences?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So obviously, in terms of just the volume of money, the decisions by the Trump administration has hit the public health sciences, HIV/AIDS research in a big way, in ways that could literally cause people to die. But the broader effect is also, as you indicate, on the social sciences and humanities, our ability, nobody does their scholarship in a corner by themselves. You do it through collaboration with people in universities around the world. And so we have to find other ways of rebuilding those networks of ideas, that keeps the social sciences and humanities. Remember, even something like the pandemic we just went through, that wasn't just a medical problem. Social distancing is a sociological problem. It's a humanities problem, And so we cannot allow ourselves to be cut off from doing joint science, joint scholarship, especially in the humanities, with people around the world, despite what happened in the USA.
Yeah. Just lastly, let me ask you to reflect broadly on whether or not there's a renaissance that's needed in the humanities and the social sciences. There's been a great deal of emphasis, particularly in the health sciences, as you just talked to in the last few minutes, about what happened with the pandemic and the renewal and sort of bringing forth the importance of continuing research in the health sciences. You're seeing that also with AI, what it's doing for the sciences. What about the humanities and social sciences? Is it a moment of a renaissance that's needed?
Oh, absolutely. You put your finger on a very important point. The humanities and social sciences always lag behind the natural sciences and engineering and so on when it comes to innovation. And the single biggest transformation in the world of universities at the moment is artificial intelligence. There is no way this leaves us unaffected. For example, just think of the enormous potential of the digital humanities, of the ability to access books, ideas, journals in real time using these very powerful technological tools. And so that renaissance will happen with or without us. And it's incumbent on us, particularly in the global south, not to complain about the lack of resources, but to find ways in which to participate in and lead in those debates, particularly through our research in the humanities and the social sciences.
All right, let's leave it there for this afternoon. Congratulations once again. That's Professor Jonathan Jansen, who is a leading education professor at the Stellenbosch University.